Okay, so my husband and I have decided for our anniversary, which is in October, that we're gonna take a vacation. We're actually gonna do it, except it won't be in October, it'll be next January, because I just want to take a vacation where no one else is. I think that's an off season, January. I guess it depends on where you go. Initially, I was stuck between two places. I was actually really wanting to go to Alaska. Now, I am not a winter person, like, at all. I was raised in Ohio. I know winter. I know what it's like to be 30 degrees and snowing and things like that. So I am not a winter vacation person. I know that's like people like to go to Vail and they go to Whistler and they just have a grand old time. I hate being cold. I just hate it. Like, there's just no way you can relieve yourself when it's freezing cold, and I don't want to do it. But I think I was doing research, and so in Alaska, it's the off season in January. People like to go in the summertime. Duh. It's nice weather, and it's not, negative 15 degrees. So yes, okay. So I talked to my husband, I was like, okay, let's go to Alaska. So I started doing the research, and so several things. One, it is the off season, so things are going to be, the fun things that I wanted to do are going to be closed down. I was looking at Sitka, I was looking at Ketchikan, I think that's how you pronounce it. And I was looking at Juneau. Now, this is a little tricky to do because we have a 14-month-old, and I am not wanting her to be outside in extreme freezing conditions. So already, like, our trip is a little limited just because we have like a little one. But yeah, like, all the fun things that I was wanting to do are closed. Dog sledding, but I mean, I can't go dog sledding with my daughter. I can go, but what am I gonna do with her? My husband wants to go, so it's tricky. I can't remember what else. And I wanted to really, like, that is on my bucket list. I want to see Northern Lights, but again, that's also dependent on where you go in Alaska. I think you have a better shot if you're like Fairbanks and above. And to get from Seattle to Fairbanks is like a good 3.5 hours, and I just don't know if I want my daughter. I don't know if she can last 3.5 hours on a plane right now. So yeah, and plus you have to be outside when it's like 3 a.m. I know you can see Northern Lights like at any given time, but I know I think the more clearer pictures are when it's really late at night or if it's like really early in the morning. So again, I don't think right now in my life I can do 3 a.m. Northern Lights viewings as much as I'd love to. So again, that puts a little bit of a limitation on this trip. In addition to that, I was trying to look to see if I could start to book for like lodging, and the lodging in Sitka, and I think more so Sitka, was extremely limited. I put in, I guess because it's off season, I guess places kind of shut down because they're not expecting a lot of visitors. But yeah, like, I put in for dates for the times I want to go, and they're like, we don't have any hotels available. So looks like that's not happening. And eventually I will get to Alaska because that's one of my places on my bucket list. But I don't want to put my daughter in really cold weather right now when she's so little. So that unfortunately didn't happen. On another note, I was like, well, let's just go somewhere sunny. So we're looking at going. I was thinking about this too. I want to go to Arizona, and I want to go to Sedona, and I want to go to the Grand Canyon. And I know those are close together. It's just finding out, like, from Seattle to Arizona, I believe it's like, or Seattle to Phoenix, it's like 2.5, almost 3 hours, and then you have to take a plane from Phoenix to Sedona, which I'm willing to do. I'm talking to my husband about that as well. But I think that would be a really amazing vacation. I think as I've gotten older, I've approached traveling kind of in a snobbish way. Like, I always wanted to like go out of the country, and I still do. I thought that, like, to be like a world traveler, like, you have to dedicate all your travels to like international locales. And I was like, the United States has some pretty amazing places. I was very fortunate when we, like, I think I've talked about this in other videos. when we moved to Washington, we did a cross country road trip and we saw some really nice places. I ended up going to South Dakota, which I never thought I would do. I ended up going to Wyoming, Jackson Hole, which is beautiful. And yeah, just like seeing just like what great like variance there is in United States. So my husband's been to Grand Canyon before. I have not. I think it's just, I do think that's now on, that was on my bucket list. So I think that's very doable. It's sunny. I won't have to worry about packing 15 billion layers of clothing. That's actually, I was thinking about that. I was like, that's actually like a better idea. Yeah, I have to pack all these different, like, because I mean, we live in the Pacific Northwest. We don't really have to deal with extreme temperatures, but in Alaska, you do. So I got to get boots and I got to get like not leg warmers. Oh my God, like long johns and special shoes, like boots. What's what I mean? Boots for my daughter, you know, snowsuit for her. Like, I just don't feel like doing that. So I think we're interested in going to Arizona. And I really want to know about, because I think that's the only place in the United States I've been where the terrain is different. Like, I've never been to a desert before. I don't think anywhere in the world. Yeah, since Arizona is a very desert like place, I would like to visit and just know more about like the history of that place. It sounds so vague and I'm so sorry, but it took me a minute to figure out. I'm still working on the details of what we can do as a family there. Again, like, I don't know if I don't know if little kids can go to the Grand Canyon. I mean, I will, because I'm a micromanaging mommy, I will have her like strapped to my chest so she does not run off into the Grand Canyon. It's always my biggest fear, because she's a crazy girl. She runs everywhere. But yeah, like, I'm looking at more family friendly things to do. And who knows, like, maybe that'll just be a like super chill spot. I hope Sedona's not blowing up at this time, because I really want to go. It just looks so nice in pictures. And yeah, this will be like the first vacation I have had in 2 years. Almost. No, yeah, over 2 years at that point, because I had my baby and I was busy, you know, adulting and being a mom. So if anyone is watching this, I would be very curious to know, like, am I really off in regards to Alaska? I still like the idea of going there. Maybe not so much in January, but that was like the cheapest time to go. And actually, I would argue that too. When I was looking at places to stay and like the time frame, I was like, actually, this is not a lot cheaper than I thought it would be. I think I read that, so in January, I guess that's legislation time, where I guess a lot of like government officials come from out of town, and so those suits take up a lot of the already limited lodging there. Because yeah, I was looking at January, I was like, that's like 5 months from now. Like, why is it not available? But it wasn't. So yeah, I would just yeah, if anyone's watching, I would love to hear like what you can do if you go to Alaska during that time. Like, what can you do as a family? And like I said, I have a little one, like a 14-month-old. And is it one of those things where you just have to sit and just enjoy the area versus like doing activities? Like I said, I'm limited because I have a little baby. But are things shut down for the season? That's my question. So, and so it's the same thing in Arizona. Like, what's family friendly to do in Sedona? I mean, I can look this up as well, but I'm just curious to hear if anyone's listening. All right, I'm gonna go investigate some more stuff about traveling, because why not?